Hey guys, the new season is upon us, and over on redmenplus.com we've got you covered in every single way. We've got the final word show, we've got Journo Insight with Neil Jones, we've got opposition previews, we've got the stat show with Chris Pajak, we've got the Club Legends show, and tons more. All of this content is available in video and podcast forms, so if you want even more amazing Liverpool content in your lives, head on over to redmenplus.com and sign up from as little as £5 a month. I promise you won't regret it. The content's amazing. You're going to have a ball. So go ahead on over to redmenplus.com and sign up now.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the team news reaction show. It's me, it's Chris, and it's Steve joining me for this one. Looking forward to today. Steve, not done a watch along with you before.
Yeah, first one together, mate. My third one, undefeated, so let's hope it stays that way.
I wish I was
Have
undefeated.
I put the mockers on it with that?
I don't know. I don't think so. It is Nottingham Forest and they're pretty shit. So let's hope anyway. They are now, I think, bottom of the table as well, because
yes,
Leicester obviously.
Yeah.
Did Leicester win the other night?
Yeah, they did.
So,
Yeah,
there we go. Here we go. Liverpool versus bottom of the table, a mid-table side, or just edging above mid-table against the bottom of the table side in this one. Team will be out in around about 4 minutes. We've heard some rumours though, Steve, and the rumoured team actually is quite interesting, isn't it, Steve? So do you want to go through the rumoured team for me?
The rumoured team will be Alisson in goal, left back Robbo, centre backs of Gomez and Van Dijk, with Milner reappearing at right back. The midfield is rumoured to be Fabinho and Thiago, so Thiago getting another run again, and come to you on that in a sec, because you were thinking about that. Left side is Carvalho, right side is Elliott, with Salah and Firmino up front. So I want to come to you on the Thiago situation.
I'm surprised because I know he's massively important, and I think that he makes this formation tick a little bit, and I know that Fabinho and Henderson haven't been in the best of form this season, but I'm also thinking you've kind of got to protect Thiago a little bit. I mean, he started City, he started Rangers, he started it seems like he started all the games, and I'm a little concerned that he can't start every game of football, Steve.
So do you think, because I do you think he's in because Trent isn't in the team today, and if you take him out and put, say, Henderson alongside Fabinho, you look at the team thinking, where's the creativity from deep? Do you think that has a factor in why he's playing?
Probably, yeah. I think if the rumoured team is to be believed, then yeah, I think so. Obviously, if you're playing James Milner at right back, you've not got Trent's creativity. You're absolutely spot on. So maybe you need a little bit more creativity in the middle of the park. Is that creativity coming from the right hand side? Is the one thing I'd say. You know, because Thiago's likely to play left hand side, isn't he? I don't know. Robbo being back's big for me. I think that's we saw obviously midweek Kostas Tsimikas come in and do another good job and stuff, but the difference against Man City was the fact that I think we had Andy Robertson playing, and that left hand side looked like it was on fire a little bit for me. So I'm really excited to see him again. I think it's important that we get him up and running, because although we've played well in this sort of pseudo 4-4-2, 4-2-4, whatever you want to call it, Robbo is the key for the left hand side for me on that.
I'd agree. I think Tsimikas does a great job whenever he comes in. You can't criticise him at all. Most of the teams in the Premier League would take him in a heartbeat. But he's not Andy Robbo, and every time he gets a run inside Tsimikas, as soon as Robbo gets back in, he lifts his performance, and he's better than he was before he went out of the team. And I love that, and Klopp will love that, because that means you get a reaction out of him. So I think that's a really positive thing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got obviously about a minute or two before the team actually comes out, but we've actually got a Christmas jumper giveaway. I've got one of the brand new knitted Christmas jumpers with me now. This is the Glorious History. It's got every major honour that Liverpool have won on their front, back. We needed to use both sides because we've won that many major honours. It's got the captains on there, it's got the manager on there. It's absolutely superb. There's a link, should be underneath the video, the shelf actually, where you can purchase them. But I'm just going to go over to my laptop now. We've actually got a Christmas jumper giveaway as well, Steve. So if you quote, tweet and tag 2 friends, you could win one of 5 knitted Christmas jumpers, the design of your choice, to be given away. We're going to close the competition at 11 p.m. on Wednesday after the Ajax game. So if you go over to @the_Redmen TV on Twitter and you retweet that or quote tweet that and tag 2 friends, you could win 5 of or one of 5 one of 5 Christmas jumpers. They're both absolutely brilliant. I'll show you the Believer one in a little second or two now.
They are superb quality.
They look so much better in real life. And I know it's not even Halloween yet, so apologies. I'm just going to quickly... the team's out! The team is out! The team's out, Claxon! Come on! Right. I'm going to have to go over to the board. Steve, you're going to have to shout it out to me, mate.
Okay. We've got the team on the screen.
No, you shout the team out, mate. It's fine. Start with the goalie. Let's go.
I haven't got it on my phone.
Okay, so in goal, we don't know who the team is. Steve is getting the team up right now. And then we're going to find out exactly who it is. So we mentioned the rumour team had James Milner in there. So I'm going to get James Milner sort of in the right back area.
Okay, here we go. So in goal, Alisson, no surprises there.
Yeah.
We are right, we're going Milner at right back.
Okay.
Central defensive partnership of Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
With Andy Robertson on the left.
Yeah.
Into midfield, we've got Fabinho and Jones.
Woohoo! Okay.
Might swap them two over, Chris. Put Jones on the left-hand side. And then we've got Elliott and Carvalho playing right and left respectively, with Salah and Firmino up top. So the big news today, everybody, is that Curtis Jones is back in the side. How do you feel about that, Chris?
I am pretty excited about that. Don't lose the team because I need to go see the substitutes and
sure,
stuff now.
No worries.
If you want to shout those subs out for me, that is really interesting and surprising in every way, shape and form.
So subs, Adrian and Kelleher. Two goalkeepers on the bench today.
Okay.
Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain makes the bench.
Yeah.
Simicas.
Yeah.
Bobby Clark.
Okay.
Bajetovic, Phillips and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Okay, this is going to be a little bit tough to find all of them because, oh my God, Stephen Bajetovic, no Ramsey now.
No Ramsey today, didn't make the bench.
No Nunes. We've got Clark. Who else did you say?
Phillips.
Yeah, any Trent?
Simicas, Clark, Trent, yeah.
And Thiago?
No, Thiago doesn't make the bench.
So, I'll just go through that again then. Kelleher, Adrian, Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Simicas, Stefan Bajetovic, Clark, Phillips and Trent.
That's correct.
Is that right? Okay, now we can look at the team in its entirety. Have a think about potential formations for me, Steve, while I go through this. So, Alisson Becker in goal, Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, James Milner playing right back, Kate Jones in the centre of the park with Fabinho, Carvalho off the left, Elliott off the right, Firmino probably behind Salah.
So looking at that
is really, really interesting.
Looking at that looks like a little bit like a 4-2-3-1. Now you put it on the board. What that also has the option is if you just drop Elliott and Carvalho back in alongside Jones and Fabinho. Expect to see this when we don't have the ball. And you can also go 4-2-4 if we're chasing the game or we feel there's goals in that. That's it, mate. We push those up there. So we've got the unpredictability, been able to cycle through three formations. It looks like a 4-4-2 to start with. It can be a 4-2-3-1 and it can be a 4-2-4. And you know what? I love that because we've been speaking about Liverpool over the years and we've been a little bit samey, we've been a little bit predictable. We have the option to mix it up. What do you think, Chris?
No, I think you're absolutely right. Obviously, if you wanted to, you can flip that back into a 4-3-3 quite easily as well, because Harvey could play there. You could have Carvalho on the left-hand side, Salah off the right-hand side, and Firmino up top. I think we are moving away from the 4-3-3 for what feels like for good right now, to be honest. And what I love about this formation is that even with the injuries that we've got, I'm looking at this thinking I'm really excited to see Carvalho and Harvey Elliott over there on the wings. As you mentioned, Steve, I think you're absolutely spot on. When we're defending, we're going to be defending like that in a 4-4-2 formation. But with Firmino probably behind Salah, Carvalho from the left, Elliott from the right. It's 4-2-4, it's 4-4-2, it's 4-2-3-1, it's all of those. What matters in all of this is that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lads joining the attack at all times. We know Kurt Jones is going to drift over to that left-hand side as well. I'm really surprised that there's no Thiago on the bench, to be honest with you. I think that's quite interesting. Henderson's dropped out again. The options from the bench are nowhere near as good as what we've seen in recent weeks. Obviously, a big talking point going into this game now for me and you, Steve, and I'll come back over in a second, is Darwin Núñez doesn't make the bench. Felt something midweek. Was taken off. He felt something at half-time. He was taken off a few minutes later in the game. But interestingly, that Klopp has decided to go with this formation, even without the brand new striker in.
Yep, absolutely right. And if you look at the bench, and we'll talk about that in a second, Chris, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Bobby Clark would be your forward options if we needed to change anything, which doesn't speak of massive strength. But But there it is. Clark's been banging him in for fun in the under-23s, and Oxlade-Chamberlain may feel he has a point to prove. Obviously missed out after the injury in pre-season, and is still at this stage coming out of contract in the summer. Who knows what's in his mind regards his future? Maybe being fit now, and he's worked hard in training to get himself back into the running. I would expect to see him today. What do you think?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, if the result is right, if we're 4-0, 5-0 up, maybe. But Klopp, it looked like at the week, in midweek, didn't it, that he had those substitutions planned. It didn't matter what the result was going against West Ham. So at 60 minutes, it looked like he was going to make those changes regardless of game state. It wouldn't surprise me if he does something similar today. I think, if it's a precautionary thing with Darwin Núñez, is there any point in putting Clark in for 20 minutes? We know he's fit and he's up and running anyway. Would it be better to give Oxlade-Chamberlain some minutes who hasn't had any? You could move him into the right wing position, for example, and you could move Elliott up front and maybe behind Firmino if you wanted to bring Salah off or something like that. What I do like is that with Carvalho, with Jones, with Elliott, we've got options because all of them could play in the 10, all of them could play in the middle of the park. So without having options on the bench, we've got options within the team that we can shuffle around and stuff. That's the big one though, isn't it? I think Jurgen, it feels like has made probably the safe call in moving Darwin Núñez out of this squad. If he's on the bench, you might be tempted to use him, and that's always interesting, is it? We're just having word now that Thiago's got an ear infection, which is why he's missing out. So probably, if the rumoured team was right, apart from Jones,
so it looks like Jones has come in for Thiago,
and if it's an ear infection, maybe it was a last minute thing, and maybe Jones has come in. But it's got to be a big game for Kurt Jones because he's been nowhere near the side for such a long time now. He had a few minutes obviously over the last week or so, and he's going to come in the middle of the park and he's got to showcase what he can do.
It's a big game in what we all thought would be a big season for Jones. We're looking at our midfield in the next transfer windows and we're looking to strengthen it. He needed to use this season to say, you might strengthen it, but you can factor me into the future plans for your midfield. With not getting game time, it's been difficult for him to show us what he's capable of. This is a big game for Kurt Jones, and him, Elliott and Carvalho, for me, the thing that all three of them do when they get the ball is they look forward, and I really like that, and Mo Salah will benefit from that today.
TK says Jones is a very bad footballer, that's why they hate. I obviously I've come in there on the YouTube comments, and I'm probably in the middle of a conversation that I've jumped in on, and apologies for picking on TK, and I just don't see that he's a bad footballer. I just don't see that you get into a Jurgen Klopp squad if you are a bad footballer. Now, he might not have hit the heights that maybe when he came through a few years ago we'd have expected by now. And I'm not saying he's a first name on the team sheet by any stretch of the imagination, but bad football is a stretch, and I think sometimes the terminology we use when we are talking as fans is not right. And in this case, he's not a bad footballer. He's just not the best footballer at the club. No,
and he's far from the finished article, and we shouldn't be comparing him against the guys who normally sit in our midfield. If you're comparing Curtis Jones against Thiago Alcantara, then really need to rethink that one, because Thiago's the finished article. You don't develop Thiago from the player he is. Mm-hmm. He is what he is, and he's world class. You would hope Curtis Jones learns from playing and training with those guys, but he's still on his journey. He's not the finished article. We're 2 or 3 years away from actually knowing what Curtis Jones is. And at the end of the day, if Klopp trusts him to put him in the midfield, then as fans, so should we.
Yeah, absolutely. Gareth Baird sent us 2 super chats. Apologies for missing the first one, Gareth. He said 9-0 for me today, lads. You'll never walk alone. Josh Owens come in and said, fuck's sake, just put Darwin in for Bobby on the Fantasy Premier League. Salah hat-trick today. Need a solid performance from Jones. Needs to kick on this season. And I think Josh is right. And I'm not going as far as 9-0, Gareth. I'm going to go with a 4-0 for Liverpool today. And Josh, just on yours, need a solid performance from Jones. It's obviously something we've been talking about. Who excites you most from this formation, though, in this lineup? Is it Salah seeing him central again and getting him closer to the goal? Is it potentially the two young lads on the wing? Who for you is the guy that you think you're excited to see today?
It's always Salah, isn't it? Salah should excite us every game he plays because of the talent that he is. But I came into the season with a lot of energy for Carvalho and Elliott, because they are the future. We both didn't buy them to play in the reserves. They're getting serious game time, especially Elliott. Elliott's a special footballer, can take the ball down on a half turn and look forward. Love watching him play. Want to see these guys continue to develop. And because of the injuries to Jota and to Diaz, this is an opportunity for Carvalho to genuinely cement himself a place in the matchday squad going forward, and really look forward to seeing what he's going to do.
Yeah, Lee Constable's weighed in from our Discord actually on Kurt Jones. He says, Kurt Jones is a weird one for me. I think injuries have hit him at the wrong time this last 12 months. Cost him a lot of playing time. Jones to be in this squad is credit alone. He's a regular starter in a lot of pre-Klopp squads, to be honest. Shows how good we are now. And that is true, actually. I think that's a great point, is how far we've come over the last few years. That, you know, we've seen... I don't want to be degrading to any players, but we've seen lads wear the red shirt that haven't really deserved to wear the red shirt pre-Klopp. You know, I'm thinking back to those Hodgson years, and Brendan Rodgers even had players that, you know, they weren't fit to lace the boots of who came before them, whereas now I think, you know, it's going to be difficult for Kurt Jones, and I don't know how he's managed to split the fan base so much. I'm really shocked that he has, because there does seem to be a lot of love for him, and also a lot of hate online, and yet whenever he takes the field, for me, he puts his absolute all in, which is minimum requirements.
His efforts brilliant. Sometimes it's his decision making which rattles our fans. Sometimes he holds on to the ball for too long, and it's difficult. You're going to struggle to take the winger out of the player. Don't forget, we've turned him from a left-sided forward in the under-23s into a left-sided centre midfield, in one of the hardest working midfields in world football, when it works properly. So it's a big change for him, and you've got to factor that in as well. So yeah, I think it's some of the negativity around Curtis Jones is a little bit unwarranted. As I said before, he's far from the finished article. If he wasn't good enough, he wouldn't be in matchday squads. He clearly is. He clearly shows enough in training to suggest he can mix it with those types of players at that standard. And by that, I'm talking about your Fabinos, your Hendersons and your Thiagos. He's okay playing in their company. So hopefully today we'll see him answer a lot of those critics in a cyber. He should see plenty of the ball.
Yeah, finally, I don't normally like to focus on negatives. It's just not the type of football fan that I am. But if you look at that side, Steen, I don't know whether you agree with me, the centre of the park, with Fabinho's form so far this season, bar City, and Jones not having a lot of minutes, is really where Liverpool could come a little bit unstuck.
And you're right, and typically sides that lack a little bit of quality, and that's no disrespect to Nottingham Forest, come to you with energy, effort, and usually a bit of aggression to try and unsettle you. Big responsibility for Bino today to babysit Jones through that role, because this is the first time I've seen Jones in what essentially could be a double pivot on the left-hand side. He's going to have to turn down some of his attacking tendencies to cover space to help us control the game. Really interesting to see if he could do it, and if he can do it, it poses a few questions in terms of his future. And if he can do it, it's a definite tick in the box, a feather in your bow, if you like, what he can offer us going forward. So I agree. Absolutely, and
obviously, you know, we know that Harvey Elliott can play in the middle of the park. We know that Carvalho can play in the middle of the park, and I think it's a testament to how Kurt Jones did when he moved back into the middle of the park, that he's the one that's been given the license to play in the double pivot, as it were. Because I don't think Harvey Elliott's there yet. I don't think Carvalho's there yet. I don't think they're physically strong enough. Jones, just a couple of years older, bulked out a little bit now, played that role a little bit longer. He's the fella who's trusted, and we've got to say, you know, and again, I know Jordan's not been in great form. Our three options, well, Jones hasn't really played, so we don't know what form he's in. Fabinho hasn't really been in good form, and Jordan Henderson hasn't really been in good form either this season. So Jones getting the nod over Jordan Henderson says to me that Jurgen is still strictly limiting Jordan Henderson's game time this season about the amount of minutes that he can actually play.
Yeah, we've asked a lot of him in recent years. We spoke about this before we came online, and it wouldn't surprise me at some point to see Henderson take the Milner role in the squad in terms of the flexibility and getting minutes where required, as opposed to being a nailed-on starter. And we do have to look to the future. Just going back to the Jones thing, what will be interesting when the game kicks off is I want to see when we're defensively where Firmino sits. I think Firmino will go and sit on the side of Carvalho and Jones to help in that defensive position. So I'd be really interested to watch that in the first couple of minutes when we don't have the ball, to see how we set up, because I think Carvalho is going to have to help Jones.
Yeah, I agree with that. A couple of super chats before we round up the show. James Tucker, £2, thank you so much. I'm excited to see Jones. He has a lot of ability. We've talked a lot about Kurt Jones on this show. And John Lee David Blackshaw, thank you, John, for joining us. I'm not going to mention your name this time. 4311 ideas. Congratulations on the 500k. You'll never walk alone. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate your support and coming to the live shows and stuff like that. 4311 would be Fabinho, Jones, Carvalho, maybe. 4-3. Wait there. Are you a man short there?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, no, John, that's a stupid idea, mate.
It's 4-4-1-1, isn't it?
4-4-1-1. Yeah, again, that's 4-4-2 for me.
Yeah.
There's two formations that Liverpool are going to play. There is the defensive formation, there is the attacking formation as far as I see it. It's 4-2-4 when we attack, it's 4-4-2 when we defend.
That's how I see it.
And I like that, because you get the solidity and everyone knows how to defend 4-4-2. And when you are changing formations mid-season and you are you don't have enough training time on the field, go into a straight 4-4-2, which every lad has played their entire career up until pros, is probably not a bad shout.
Yeah, it's a great shout, and like you, I'm a fan of the two different systems. What we are defensively and what we are attack-wise makes us so much more difficult to play against. 4-3-3 for 5 years became a little bit predictable, and you knew the pockets of space to play in. What we won't see today is long balls into the right-back channel, because James Milner served notice to the rest of the Premier League last week. If you put me in at right-back, you're not going to get much change out of me. So let's hope he can follow up last week's performance with one similar today. I just think that the flexibility to rotate through the formations is fantastic.
Yeah, AFC Max is back in the comments. He watches a lot of our content. AFC Max, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm not going to enjoy reading this one out, but he says, thanks for the win against you boys and helping us defeat Man City. All Arsenal fans were behind you that day, hoping for Liverpool comeback. And he gives the come on you gooners thing. What I will say is we're just giving you enough rope to hang yourself. That's all we're doing right now. We've let you get out in front, and we're going to peg you back and take you down to size. It's the hope that kills you, Max, and that's what we've done today. So listen, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back about 12:15 for the main watch along. Can't wait for this one. Love an early kickoff. Love playing big sides like Nottingham Forest, big clubs, much bigger than the club we faced last weekend because of the European Cups that they've won. Steve, thank you very much for joining me for Team News Reaction. I'll see you all at 12:15.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that show. Did you know Redmen Plus subscribers get access to their exclusive Facebook group? Yes, there is a Redmen Plus subscribers group on Facebook just for them. So if you want to get involved with like-minded Reds and avoid the idiots on Twitter and normal Facebook and all that, sign up to Redmen Plus, enter your username as you sign up to the Facebook group, and you'll get access to... Ta-da.